Hi, I'm John Ratzenburger. If you want to know America, you've got to meet the folks who work in factories and work.
Toot our own pipes in Willoughby, Ohio. Tucked into the northeast corner of Ohio, just down the road from Cleveland, the town of Willoughby is a quintessentially American town, which of course makes it the perfect place to find a factory that makes bagpipes. Welcome to Gibson Bagpipes Incorporated.
Jerry.
Hello, John. A pleasure to meet you.
This is company founder Jerry Gibson, a native Scotsman who's been playing bagpipes since he was hem-high to a kilt. He even served as a piper in Scotland's Seaforth Highlanders. Jerry long ago brought his brogue and his pipes to our shores in search of the American dream.
I came down as a design engineer to Cleveland. I had a good job, and the kids came, and the grandkids came,
All right.
and I had the business, and here I am.
Is that when did you start the business?
We established it in 1978 in my garage, just an old lathe, just fooling around, and we just kind of built it up from there.
He now has 9 employees and turns out about 550 sets of bagpipes a year. Sak is originally from Laos. He came to America after fleeing the communists in 1980.
When they say, what do you do for a living, what do you tell them?
I tell them I was making a bagpipe.
How do they react to that? What do they say?
A lot of people didn't even know what it looks like.
What most Americans know about bagpipes comes from seeing funerals of our fallen heroes, or from hearing them at a pub on St. Paddy's Day. But bagpipes have a long history. Early versions of them were known to have appeared centuries ago on most every continent except North America. Over time, it was the Scottish Highlands pipes that established dominance.
But my opinion on the bagpipe starting was a shepherd somewhere, playing a flute, watching his flocks in ancient times, and he didn't want to keep stopping and taking a breath, so he put a bag to it. Then he put a blowpipe, and he was playing it.
Why would he put the blowpipe?
Well, because to blow into the bag, and then the air in the bag would play the flute.
So you blow into the bagpipe, inflates the bag, and your arm comes down
Yes.
and forces the air out to the flute.
Into the flute. Then I think he wanted, somebody decided they wanted a background sound, like a chord on a piano. So they added another flute or drone to make a continuous sound.
A set of Highland bagpipes comes with 2 tenor drones and 1 bass drone. They're made to fit together in modular pieces. There are a top, middle, and bottom for a bass drone and 2 tenor drones. The bottoms, called stocks, will later fit into the airbag. The wood that Jerry uses for his pipes is an African blackwood called mpingo. It's the hardness of the wood that gives the pipes their distinctive sound. No North American wood is hard enough.
That's like steel.
Yes, it'll sink in water.
This will actually sink.
It will sink, it will not float. If you ever drop a set of bagpipes overboard, you're going to have to dive for it.
The wood is cut into the precise sizes, then seasoned. Now comes the magic.
So that little blade in there cuts the wood.
I'll step out here. It comes more forward than it goes backward.
It's raining African blackwood.
It may not look like it, but this is incredibly precise work. The tolerances are about 5/1000ths of an inch. A mistake means throwing away a very expensive piece of wood.
And the last cut off.
That's a work of art right there. That's beautiful.
Each of the pieces is rounded the same way. Next, each has its air hole drilled using a gun bore. It's not a drill bit, it's an air bit.
So it doesn't spin around? No. Oh, I see.
This is spinning around. The drill bit doesn't spin around. Oh, you can feel it's coming out very fine dust.
Just like glass.
It really is. It's very, it's polished. It's a gleam coming off the inside. That's beautiful. And where does it go from here?
Get shape into this shape here.
All right, so you put it back on the lathe and shave it down.
Each of the stock pieces is turned the same way. The shaped pieces then begin the adornment process. First comes something called combing. These lines are strictly ornamental. They're there for visual effect and won't influence the sound. Now other decorative pieces are added. Depending on the price of the bagpipes, they might be rings of stainless steel or sterling silver or gold. Of ivory, you've got two choices, fake or real. But the real stuff will set you back.
This is 15,000-year-old mammoth ivory.
Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from Russia. And they dig it up.
Sure, the
Yes.
steppes in Siberia and all.
Yes.
It's legal to import ivory only from extinct species, which is why it's so expensive.
This is about $150 for one piece.
Now comes the pipe chanter. Unlike most bagpipe companies, Gibson drills the finger holes first, not afterwards. According to Jerry's geometric calculations, this produces a more consistent sound.
What we're going to do is actually trace this. This operates like you would cutting a key, per se. There's a template in the back. Everything works on hydraulics, and when we go to turn, it just follows a pattern in the back, and we make our shape of our channel.
Here's the template right here.
Correct.
Well, it's got to be a nice job in the winter. Keeps your hands warm.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Dennis makes several passes, taking off small increments. Actually, make that tiny increments. Some passes take off only a few thousandths of an inch.
You play it all?
No, sir, I don't.
Now, I've witnessed it myself, though. The ladies really go for guys who can play the bagpipes, you know.
Is that true?
I've
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I've seen that happen.
Nothing's happening yet.
Next comes painting. And now the pipes are ready for assembly. The stocks are inserted into the bag, which isn't a sheep's bladder anymore. It's actually made out of a synthetic material. To keep them in place, the stocks are tied off. All we need now is a reed, which Gibson also makes. And at last, the pipes are ready to be played. Jerry called in some friends to help him. Here's Jamie Holden, Bruce Gregg, Kyle Corrigan, and Ruthie Chapman.
Would you like to join us for a tune?
I would if you have the job. I'm not dressed properly, but let me go in the motorhome, see what I can put together, and just give me 5 minutes.
Okay, then, John.
Be right back.
All right.
Jerry, we're in luck, sir. I happen to find this stuff later on the motorhome.
Great. Fire rolls. Quick. Watch.
200 years ago, bagpipers were subject to execution in England. And as late as 50 years ago, pipers who led their regiments into war were often the first person targeted by the enemy, who knew that the bagpipes aroused courage. Today, it's considerably safer to stand out on the street and proudly play this noble instrument, even in Ohio.
As I travel this country, I'm constantly amazed by how remarkably ingenious and hardworking we Americans are. Our power to transform imagination into reality seems pretty much infinite. You can bet that right now, someone somewhere in this country is imagining something truly extraordinary, something that will be built and become as much a part of our lives as, well, television. That's right, wherever I go, I'm always reminded that we've got it made in America.
Well, that's certainly Jerry Gibson's attitude. His pipes winning all kinds of international awards, he's only now beginning to hear the recognition he deserves from the land of his birth. I still smile every time I think about that bagpipe factory in a Cleveland suburb, and also of the guys who worked there, especially Sack, the Laotian who came to escape the communists. He'd never seen a bagpipe in his life, and now, according to what he told me, he wouldn't do anything else. What a great American story.